Check out carmarshal.com. The link is in the description. They help support us.
This is a Fox News alert. The Trump administration just announced the winners of the hotly anticipated fake news awards. Chief National Correspondent Ed Henry is at the White House with the results on the red carpet. Hey, Ed.
Tucker, good to see you. As you know, there's been this anticipation. What will the president do? He's been teasing this out for a couple of weeks now. He's now listed about a dozen fake news stories, in his words, that he wants to highlight. We're going to run through the top 5, starting with number 5, the president calling out the Washington Post for, in his words, falsely reporting a massive sold-out rally in Pensacola, Florida, as being empty. He says a dishonest reporter showed a picture hours before the event started, and it was much, much bigger. Number 4, Time magazine falsely reporting that the president removed a bust of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. from the Oval Office. Remember, this was something that Time reported literally day 1, day 2 of this administration. It was a fake story. Number 3, CNN, in the words of the president, falsely reporting that candidate Donald Trump and his son Donald Trump Jr. had access to hacked documents from WikiLeaks before the public did. That was not true. Had to be retracted as well. Number 2, the president going after ABC News' Brian Ross. In the president's words, in this thing just tweeted out, Brian Ross, quote, chokes and sends markets in a downward spiral with false report. Remember, that was about retired General Michael Flynn and pleading guilty to that charge of lying to the FBI. Brian Ross suggesting that this dated back to actual collusion in the campaign. That had to be walked back. That was not true. The stock market crashed on that initial fake news, the president calling that out. Finally, number 1 in the president's estimation for the 2017 Fake News Awards. I know you've been waiting for this, Tucker. The New York Times' Paul Krugman, the columnist, claiming on the day of the president's historic landslide victory, in the president's words, the economy would never recover. As you can see from the market activity today, announcements like Apple saying they're pouring a lot more money into this economy, bringing repatriated money back into the United States. That is something that the White House is crowing about tonight, Tucker.
Paul?
As Trump gives out fake news awards, WikiLeaks reminds the world both parties are liars. While Trump is correct in accusing the mainstream media of spreading false information and misleading the public, WikiLeaks pointed out that Trump himself has the same reputation. By Rachel Blevins, January 18, 2018. While the same media outlets that have been openly critical of President Trump became the topics of his fake news awards, the entire event was filled with hypocrisy, and served as a depiction of the pot calling the kettle black. Both entities have spent a significant amount of time lying to and misleading the public. WikiLeaks, an organization that the mainstream media have attempted to claim is a pro-Trump, pro-Russia propaganda firm, took to Twitter to point out the hypocrisy surrounding the awards. While WikiLeaks, as a primary source organization with a perfect verification record, welcomes debate over fake news, it should be noted that along with the U.S. establishment press, the Trump administration is a frequent source of false information, the organization claimed. WikiLeaks. Heavy checkmark. At WikiLeaks. Comment, while at WikiLeaks, as a primary source organization with a perfect verification record welcomes debate over fake news, it should be noted that along with the U.S. establishment press, the Trump administration is a frequent source of false information. Hashtag Fake News Awards. 9:13 p.m., January 17, 2018. 368 replies, 1,621 1,621 retweets, 3,699 3,699 likes. Twitter adds info and privacy. The statement is notable because it serves as a reminder of the relationship between WikiLeaks and the Trump administration. When Trump was running for office, and WikiLeaks was releasing emails from members of the Democratic National Committee, Trump was more than happy to credit the organization when citing the damning information that it released about his opponent, Hillary Clinton. Advertisement. However, now that Trump is in office, he has made no attempt to pardon WikiLeaks founder, Julian Assange, who is currently living at the London Embassy in Ecuador after he was granted political asylum. Read more, Obama accepted $1.3 million in gifts last year from a country who beheads more people than ISIS. Trump has also openly criticized Chelsea Manning, the Army whistleblower who helped to put WikiLeaks on the map by releasing 700,000 files and documents that revealed atrocities committed by the U.S. military in Iraq. Donald J. Trump. Heavy checkmark. At Real Donald Trump. Ungrateful traitor Chelsea Manning, who should never have been released from prison, is now calling President Obama a weak leader. Terrible. 6:04 a.m., January 26, 2017. 24,552 24,552 replies 27,480 27,480 retweets 125,731 125,731 likes. Twitter adds info and privacy. Trump's hypocrisy when it comes to WikiLeaks is notable because it serves as a reminder of his hypocrisy when it comes to foreign policy. He uses stories of innocent children killed by airstrikes and the dangers of blowback when it suits him but ignores those same factors when they challenge his administration's policies. When Trump was viewed as the outsider candidate in the 2016 election, and he needed support from an anti-establishment fan base, he was fully in support of holding Saudi Arabia accountable for the role it played in the 9/11 terrorist attacks. However, once Trump was in office, his tune quickly changed, and Saudi Arabia became the first stop on his first foreign trip as president, paving the way for the completion of the largest single arms deal in U.S. history. View image on Twitter. View image on Twitter. View image on Twitter. View image on Twitter. Donald J. Trump. Heavy checkmark. At Real Donald Trump. Great to be in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Looking forward to the afternoon and evening ahead. Hashtag POTUS abroad. 4:44 a.m., May 20, 2017. 20,951 20,951 replies 96,174 96,174 retweets 99,093 99,093 likes. Twitter adds info and privacy. Trump's cozy relationship with Saudi Arabia has resulted in pure genocide in the poorest country in the Middle East. While the massacre was initially started by the Obama administration, the Trump administration's foreign policy has only made conditions worse in Yemen, where the latest records show that since 2015, 5,000 children have been killed or injured, 3 million were born into war, and 1.8 million children are acutely malnourished. Read more. Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist, Saudis hid bin Laden to keep him from telling the truth on September 11. Trump's hypocrisy on foreign policy extends to Syria, where he began criticizing Obama's attempts to invade the country in 2013. He also used his time on the campaign trail to accuse the Obama administration of helping to create ISIS in its attempts to overthrow Assad. Donald J. Trump. Heavy checkmark. At Real Donald Trump. Again, to our very foolish leader, do not attack Syria. If you do, many very bad things will happen, and from that fight the US gets nothing. 8:20 a.m., September 5, 2013. 3,643 3,643 replies 78,635 78,635 retweets 58,324 58,324 likes. Twitter adds info and privacy. However, despite Trump's rhetoric, Secretary of State Rex Tillerson boasted a new strategy in Syria centered around long-term U.S. military presence that would eventually lead to overthrowing President Bashar al-Assad, during a speech at Stanford University's Hoover Institution. Tillerson vowed that the U.S. will stay until ISIS and al-Qaeda in Syria suffer an enduring defeat, do not present a threat to the homeland, and do not resurface in a new form, and that Syria never again serves as a platform or safe haven for terrorists to organize, recruit, finance, train and carry out attacks on American citizens at home or abroad or against our allies. Tillerson also said the U.S. still seeks to overthrow Assad through an incremental process of constitutional reform and unsupervised elections. A stable, unified and independent Syria ultimately requires post-Assad leadership in order to be successful, Tillerson said. The departure of Assad through the unled Geneva process will create the conditions for a durable peace within Syria and security along the border for Syria's neighbors. Department of State. Heavy checkmark. At State Department. Secretary Tillerson, #Syria remains a source of severe strategic threats, and a major challenge for our diplomacy. But the United States will continue to remain engaged as a means to protect our own national security interest. https://go.usa.gov/xnvg2. 9:23 p.m., January 17, 2018. 5454 replies 157 retweets 294 likes. Twitter adds info and privacy. Ultimately, Trump is correct in stating that the mainstream media has published stories about him that were false or misleading. But Trump is guilty of the exact same offenses that he accusing CNN and MSNBC of committing. Read more. Yes, Trump is dangerous, but the unelected deep state trying to overthrow him is far worse. While one might wonder why the mainstream media would focus more on Rusiagit than on the dramatic increase in civilian casualties, or the escalation of military spending under the Trump administration, they should also realize that in order to provide accurate and honest coverage of Trump, the media would have to admit that he is only continuing the exact same thing his predecessors have been doing and the media has been covering up for years.
County, this is Charlotte County Cop Watch, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheeple up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Sheriff County Cop Watch with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave let's say actually yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where, at least I can do it. 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is if I got some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations And more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. You know, 47,000 of you so far right now. You know, $1 a day. I mean, $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.